Hey, it's Tracy time. Time for another moment with me, Tracy T. It is a marvelous, magnificent Monday. I hope you're having a magical moment, and I'm grateful that you're spending this time with me. So, listen, we're going to get into this real quick because I just need to understand first off, how are you doing? That's the number one. That's important to me. How are you doing? The second thing I want to know is what are you eating for lunch? Because it's lunchtime here in the ET and CT. We know that the other parts of the country is not quite lunchtime, and in other parts of the world is absolutely not lunchtime. But I want to know how you're doing and what are you eating for lunch. And then here's the third question that I ordinarily wouldn't even ask. But considering the weather has shifted, how cold is it where you are? Are you guys feeling like it's really fall finally? Because I know the fall was, official in September. However, it is feeling like a little crisp. It is 45 degrees here in the land of Tennessee, in the county of Shelby, in the city of Memphis. And so I am not yet ready for the heater because I really don't want to give any extra funds to MLG and W. So I'm going to work on trying to cover up and layer up. But I'm gonna tell y'all what. Hey, Adrian, how you doing? It's a little cool. It's a little brisk. And of course, as the morning goes, it'll warm up. Today's high is supposed to be 68, so it'll be nice. But right now, it's a little cold. I'm like, woo. All right. Did you have a good weekend? Hey, V. Did you have a good weekend? How are you doing? What are you eating for lunch? And listen, y'all, we got a lot to talk about. All these folks, whoo, I'm my sunglasses off. All these folks have come up with this. Hey, Cammy, it's 60 degrees there. So hopefully we'll get up to 68. 68 I can handle. Right now, this last whole, well, okay, hold on a second, because that hasn't updated. Because I was gonna say if it's 45 right now and it's almost noon, we got a problem, Houston. It's gonna update and I'll be able to tell you what. Okay, it's 61 right now, but it still feels cold in the house. I was gonna say 45. We don't want 45. We don't want 45 degrees. We don't want 45 in the White House. Hello, somebody. So, speaking of 45, the occupant. Foolishness. Pure foolishness. Did y'all see this foolishness over the weekend? I want to know. Thank you, VJ. Thank you. Because I'm feeling cold. I was like, I don't know if it's just me. Y'all see, I got long sleeves on right now. But, and I have on pink breast cancer awareness. What do y'all think? Let's just get right to it. What do y'all think? Really? Really? Okay, have you been keeping up with me? I've been trying to make sure I stay current. I'm not going to share anything that I think is fraudulent information, but there was a post that I shared over the weekend where one person, and I told you guys about this on Friday, and I was able to get the post and I posted it, where this man said, y'all in for an October surprise. 45 is gonna pull his surprise, and he's gonna use this as a distraction, and he's gonna shift the focus. He said that in November. I mean, he said that in September. Y'all, what do you think? Is it real? Okay, so we got two different people that I've been talking to. We got two different stories, two different sides. And I wonder if this is wishful thinking for the person that said that, who really believes this man has COVID. Are you on the mindset and on the team that he has COVID? So we're going to have Team COVID. BJ. Team BJ. Wait a minute, BJ said his assets is faking. Okay, so we know which side you're on, V. So is he faking or is it fact? That's what we want to know. We're gonna go with that. Fake or fact. So let's go. Let's run down the rabbit hole rather. Let's go down the rabbit hole for each one. And I want to get you to share with me your thoughts. And we know that this is the disciple of deception, right? So let's just explore, how will this benefit him either way. All right, let's go with the fake. Let's go with, since VJ said he's faking, we're gonna let's go down the lane of fake. Let's go down Fake Avenue. Fake Avenue says, if I am 45, then I have been completely put on Front Street with my taxes. One, I am completely exposed that my businesses are failing, that I'm not this business acumen, that I lack that. I'm not this business savant. I'm not this, genius. I'm not great at business. So that's on Front Street. That was front and center. I don't believe that COVID is real. That is fake news. And if we think this is fake, we also know that after the debate last week, his numbers were going shoo down, right? We know that. So, is the person that posted this using, Adrian, you saying he's faking too? Is he using this as a ploy to distract and then gain sympathy from people who, like those folks, if you looked at the footage from last week post debate? I don't know if you guys watch CNN, but I use CNN is my source for information, because I know that they're going to err on the side of what is right. They're not going to make up stuff. They're going to try to do their level best as journalists to deliver actual news and factual news. And so they had a poll in Ohio. We know that's a key state, where those people were polling live through the debate and then afterwards, and some were on the fence, and many of them on the fence, with the exception of two people, shifted and said, based on the performances I saw tonight and the things that he said and the way he behaved, I'm going to vote for Biden. So we know these numbers are down. So is faking this virus, having this virus, garnering the empathy of people who may be on the fence, right? And having the focus shift from Melania Trump allegedly saying that she doesn't care about Christmas, and somebody said Melania Trump hates Christmas. I didn't hear that. What I heard is that she doesn't want to put up any decorations. She don't want to decorate for Christmas. But at any rate, the tape that was recorded of her saying, disparaging remarks about the Christmas holiday, and of course, because people know that the Christmas holiday is a religious holiday, then they're saying that she doesn't love the Lord. I'm not going there. But that's out there too. And since that's out there, is it easier to create? I've been telling you, he's been doing, look here, because I'm doing this over here, so you don't see that, right? I've been telling y'all that. So is this more of that? Adrian said he's faking too, because it gets the heat off the taxes. It takes the heat off of the easing in ACB, right, for the nomination for the Supreme Court. It shifts all the focus off of Biden. And because Biden is a decent human being, he and his camp and his campaign are going to do the decent human being thing, which is to remove the negative ads, which they've already done, and then to also not say anything disparaging, and to offer prayer of healing. Now, that's high road stuff, right, y'all? So, does that benefit him? Now, if you thought that he was faking, then the shenanigans that he pulled, the tomfoolery that he did with this joyride over the weekend, supports your theory, does it not? Because who do you know with coronavirus? So let's follow what we know since we left off here Friday at lunch, was that they said that they said first he didn't have a fever, then they turned around and said that he did have a fever. They said that he didn't need supplemental oxygen support, and then they turned around and said Friday that he didn't, but then Saturday they said he did receive oxygen. Then they said over the weekend that his breathing was labored, that he didn't have a fever anymore, and that he was convalescing. Okay. Then we saw this video, right? Did y'all see the video? Anybody? Y'all saw this video. He posted this video that was allegedly from Walter Reed. Well, the video background was just as fake Walter Reed background as where it's me being outside sitting in my patio with this background. Where he was at the White House when he recorded that. You can look at what he had on. He had on the very same thing. And I think now that maybe that's why it took an hour or more for him to leave the White House from South Lawn and get into Marine One, because he was recording, right? Because he had these clips he was trying to take. Do y'all think that's true? Do you think that he would go through these extreme measures to literally try to fool the American people to garner sympathy and empathy by using a virus, a deadly pandemic virus that has killed more than 207,000 American citizens? Do you really think that? Because joyriding, from what I understand, and you all know, my first cousin died from coronavirus. There was no joyride for him. He wasn't in a position where he could even be off the vent. They couldn't get him off the ventilator once he went to the emergency room. Once he was admitted and upgraded to ICU and he had to have ventilation and he was on that ventilator, there was no joyride. Needing oxygen doesn't give you the opportunity to not need oxygen and then be able to get in a vehicle. So now here's the question I have for you. If you're on the side of believing that what he has done is really attempting to bamboozle the American citizens and then the globe, right? Because this isn't just about the election, y'all. This is about how the United States is being seen as vulnerable because the leader of the United States is in a position where he is somewhat incapacitated in his convalescence. Do you really think, I need y'all to tell me, I need to hear from you. Do you really think that this man, let me see what y'all saying. Absolutely. So his son, right? We haven't heard anything about Baron V. How does he go from being an oxygen right in the car? See, that's okay, right? That's my question, right? And so, okay, Cammy, what you say? I think too many other people in this circle have been diagnosed for him to be fake. Okay, so now that takes me to the next thing, because we want to try to have some balance and fairness. Even though the American citizens haven't been given that same courtesy, we know that the American citizens have not been afforded the opportunity. Many of them who go to the hospital, who have contracted the virus, who do need medical care, don't get a suite. Many of them don't get a room. They have to be placed wherever they can fit so that they can get the treatment that they need for coronavirus. We know that many American citizens don't even have health coverage, let alone receiving the best coverage from the best doctors in the land. We know that many American citizens are not afforded the opportunity to be surrounded by anyone, let alone their chief of staffs, their Secret Service, and the like, right? We know that oftentimes when you are admitted to a hospital, you do not have the luxury of coming and going as you please. And why is that? Because when you are in a hospital and you are being treated, the logic is, here's what I understand, y'all. The logic is that if you're in the hospital and you need to be treated, then you don't need to go outside of the hospital, because that indicates that you don't need treatment. You're discharged and released from the hospital when you're better, right? Okay, so if that's true, we're gonna shift gears, because so far on the fake side, we have some things that were predicted. We have a prediction from a person that's an American citizen. I didn't check to see who he was, y'all, but he posted on Facebook at like September 30th, I think, and saying that there was an October surprise. And this October surprise, with the exception of what he posted, because there wasn't hydrochloroquine that he's using, there's these other medicines. And then you're taking these medicines and you're getting all these special cocktails of stuff. But that's also questionable. Hold on, my phone's doing something, y'all. Is that one of y'all? Okay. So now here's what I want to know. What'd you say, V? Thousands died who refused testing. So let's go back. Let's explore, because let's rest in, if he's faking, then the repercussions of him faking, y'all, is horrible. Okay? Let's go to the other side. Let's say the man truly has coronavirus. And at the Rose Garden on Saturday, last Saturday, not Saturday the 3rd, Saturday before, which was September 26th, where they had the nomination ceremony and event reception for ACB, where they were all 90% were unmasked, and they were literally shoulder to shoulder and conversing with each other in close proximity, and even leaning in and whispering and hugging each other. That of those people, we know a number of them have now tested positive for coronavirus, have been reportedly tested positive for coronavirus. Now, here's what I think is interesting. Do you think that Trump is patient zero or ACB is patient zero? I want to know what y'all think about that. Number one, the reason I'm asking that is because we know she had coronavirus earlier in the year. I think she had coronavirus in June, either June or August. She had it a couple months ago and recovered. But you and I both know there are people, we know that we don't know everything there is to know about coronavirus, number one. And we know that there's a speculation that you may have been in a position to develop antibodies to coronavirus and not get it again, but we don't know that, right? And we also know that there are people who have been tested positive for coronavirus who then go through the process and think they've recovered, test again in an attempt to go back to work, for example, and then test positive again because it's still in their system. So I'm saying that to ask you this. If he has coronavirus and all those people around him, let's say that he got it from A to B. Because what we know is, even though he said that he just gotten it like Tuesday or Wednesday, he literally had it the week before, that Saturday. He contracted it and tested positive. And we know that he did not test, and that he hasn't been tested nearly as often as we would like to imagine. And so then that also means that when he did the debate last Tuesday, that he was positive for coronavirus, along with all his family members who were completely exposed, who had masks and then took them off. And when the people tried to offer them masks, because it was part of the rules that they had agreed to, that anyone would be, with the exception of those that were on stage and the moderator, would be masked, they were all sitting there and unmasked. So here's my question. V, you said you feel like they've all been vaccinated. With what? Vaccinated with what vaccine have they received? That's what I want to know. Because here's what I'm wondering. If he has it and he truly does have, if what Cammie is saying is true, that because there's so many people, the Chris Christie's and the Kellyanne Conways, and her daughter now says that she's positive. I bet she is livid. Don't you know? I mean, based on all the different things she said on Twitter and TikTok, I bet she is livid. If he has it, then at best, he is being unbelievably reckless and irresponsible, right? Okay, let me ask a better question. If 45 has 19, is he being reckless, and is he being selfish, and is he being a narcissist by saying, you know what, I want to go and see my supporters, let's just get in the car and let me wave to them? Because then, are you putting the people who have sworn to literally take a bullet for you at risk? Those are humans. Those are citizens. They have families. They have spouses and children and parents and grandparents. Are you putting everybody that was in proximity to you at risk? We know his chief of staff, Mark Meadows, has been at the hospital with him, right? What the heck, y'all? So if he has it, let's err on the side. Let's say that yes, remember we're doing both. We're doing fake and fact. If in fact he does have coronavirus, then how reckless, y'all tell me on a scale of 1 to 5, 5 being the most reckless thing ever, how reckless is 45 being to have gone on this joyride that people are calling it a joyride, to leave Walter Reed, get in a vehicle, drive around, wave at people, mask or no, because at this point you said you're positive. So then how reckless? 1 to 5. Okay, so narcissistic, irresponsible, reckless behavior, and some secret mess. Oh, you think they got some kind of secret concoction, V, that they're injecting people with? Is not bleach. Is it bleach? I couldn't resist. I couldn't resist it. Okay, but Cammie, you saying he doesn't care about the Secret Service agents? Okay, so that's my point. Thank you, Cammie. You segued that perfectly. Because if he doesn't care about the Secret Service agents, then who does he care about? Because he's proven by his statements and by his actions of not wearing a mask, he didn't care about the citizens that were at the Rose Garden. He didn't care about the people that worked at plant, at that facility in Michigan. He didn't care about the people who were at his rallies. He didn't care about the Secret Service. He doesn't care about his staff. He doesn't care about the White House aides. Because now, after the fact, they're wearing masks. Like, don't put a mask on now. But to their defense, they just had to do what their boss did, or what their boss's boss did, right? I mean, you're not really going to be in a position to say, you know, sorry, I'm wearing a mask anyway, and you're, this White House aide, because you probably wouldn't be a White House aide for long. But isn't that a shame? Isn't that a doggone shame? Okay. V, I said 1 to 5. So I said 1 to 5. What do you think? 1 to 5. If 45 has 19, how reckless, with reckless being the most reckless you've ever seen in your entire life, how reckless is he being? V said 5s across the board. 5, 5, 5, 5, 5. Angie, hey Angie, you're saying 5. It was to satisfy his massive ego. That's why he did the trip, right? But Cammie, if you have it, hello Angela Hughes, how are you? Mwah. If you have it, are you really putting this many people at risk? And then the Rose Garden event was like a super spreader event, right? There are 15 people now who have it. Not to mention the fact that Hope Hicks came into contact with a whole spectrum of folks. Not just the 21 people I named on Friday, y'all, but all those people that had people. You remember, let me take you all the way back. You remember when the AIDS epidemic started? You remember when people saying everyone that you had sex with, for that one person, you've had sex with every person they've had sex with? Okay, well, that's kind of how this is too, right? Like, if you literally are in a position where you've been exposed, you can't contact trace every single person you've been in contact with if you're Hope Hicks and you've been in a rally. They don't know who they've come into contact with. They don't know who they've exposed. And to Cammie's point, do they care? Y'all said 5s. Hey, Tamisa. Okay, let's see. V, you said you remember the video I posted earlier this year when they were talking about the hot mic and the video had been scrubbed from the internet. Yes, I remember that they said that. I remember that video that they said, oh, they've all been vaccinated anyway. So that leads back to you saying that it's fake. That if they all got the vaccine. So now, okay, V, you and Cammie, I love that you guys are kind of on different sides of the fence on this, because here's what I want to say. Then if it's fake and not fact, then is it true that they may have been now faking that they have the coronavirus, and that we're going through this extreme measure to say all of these people are in cahoots? Like, is it going that far? Are we going that far to say, not just me, if I'm 45, just think about that. Ugh. But so are we saying that? Are we really saying that, y'all? That I'm going to go so far as to say, you guys have to join with me. If we're going to get this thing done in November, all of us have to agree. Like, huh? Really? Tamisa, what do you think? Adrian, what do you think? Is this really, I mean, y'all saying that if it's a 5 and he has it, then is he really the person that we need is to have in a position where his ego has to be stroked, even in the midst of what could be someone who is contagious, exposing himself? And this vehicle was supposed to be sealed, but y'all know vehicles are not sealed. Vehicles are exposed to outdoors and air, so they're circulating. Things come in, and filtration comes in and out of a vehicle, right? Otherwise, they wouldn't have filters. Oh, but is that what we're saying? So, Cammie, I need you to counter. Then is it true that if he has it, has Barron been tested? We haven't heard anything about him. Not to mention Barron, but his other children. All the people, because just about everybody, with the exception of Tiffany, was on the plane on Marine One, transferred from Marine One to Air Force One, right? Including some of his in-laws. They were on the plane because, it's like a family affair at the White House. His nepotism is real. It's alive and kicking. So then if you're in a position to do that and you have this succession, then what are you doing? And then here's the question I have for y'all. Fake or false? Freudian slip. Fake or fact? How are you not communicating anything to John Q. public? How is it possible that you're the leader of the free world and that you are in a position where you have not communicated anything officially and you're still using Twitter as your communication tool, which is highly inappropriate for the leader of the free world, and your doctors and staff came out, did this press conference, and looked shady as I don't know what. Did y'all see it? That was like the shade from a dang on weeping willow magnolia tree and the doggone oak tree all in one. It was so shady. It was so shady. I was like, you may be losing some credibility here, sir. I don't know. So let's see. Hold on a second. What are y'all saying? We don't want him in office now or in the future. Amen. Amen, Adrian. Amen. And Cammy, you said you wouldn't put anything past him. You didn't believe it at first? Okay, so what's made you change your mind, Cammy? Because my knee jerk was like, he doesn't have it. I really did this. I was on the roller coaster. I was like, he doesn't have anything on COVID. And then I was like, oh, that man might be dying. And I was like, nah, he did a joyride. And then when I saw the fake video, I was like, okay, he's sick for real because now he's faking it. And then it's like, but that's the whole point, isn't it? That's what he does. He literally fakes us out. But you can't tell me that it is not irresponsible to, okay, y'all give me yes or no. Yes or no. Is it irresponsible? So this is my question, yes or no. Is it irresponsible as the president of the United States to be in a place where you have to convalesce and be transported to a hospital where you have not provided a contingency plan or even a plan of action in the event that something happens and you take a turn for worse, assuming that we're saying it's fact? Is it not completely, yes or no, is it not irresponsible for Mike Pence to be in the dark and Nancy Pelosi? We won't even go down the whole list of folks because you know there's a list of succession in terms of what happens. Is it not irresponsible, yes or no? Is it irresponsible for the president of the United States to be in a position where he has been exposed, assuming it's fact, been exposed to a deadly virus, to not communicate and say, in the event that something happens to me, this is what I would like to happen, or here's what my current health status is with my pre-existing conditions, I am going to be still? Yes or no? Let's see. Angie said that man don't have COVID-19. It's all a trick. Okay, so you think it's fake. And Angela, you said you didn't believe it if you wanted to dodge the debate. You think it was all about the debate. Okay, now that's interesting because I've heard that, Angela. I heard that it's about the debate, but the thing for me is he could still do the debate, right? Because here's my take on it. I was gonna let him have that pass, and Cam, I'm gonna read your comment in just a second. But here's the thing, y'all. We're communicating right now virtually, right? If you're well enough to get, so this is how some of the stuff backfires on liars, in my opinion. If you're well enough to sassafras yourself and put your assets in a vehicle and drive around and wave at people, you waving. Aren't you in a position where you can sit in a chair in the comfort of your huge suite, your presidential suite at Walter Reed, in the conference room and be on video and debate? Huh? Cammy, what'd you say? For one thing, he went. Okay, wait a second. It was moving. For one thing, he went for how long without tweeting? 17 hours. Answer your question on that. If he felt up to it, no one could have stopped him from tweeting. Amen, Cammy. He would want to show how the virus is keeping him down. I agree with that. Or Cammy, because I was with you at first. I was like, this man is sick. He is on death's door because he has not tweeted in 17 hours. When in the entire 3.5+ years have we not seen a tweet from this man in 17 hours? So I was like, oh no, he's dying. He's dying. It's much worse than anybody ever thought. He's dying. I know he's dying. Any minute now, we're going to see breaking news, Donald J. Trump. And I thought, But wait, there's more. He came out with this fake video. Because the first video was, I'm gonna walk. I can't talk. Right? It was 23 seconds, which we never heard him talk 23 seconds. That'd be like me talking 23 seconds and being done. Never. But then I was like, okay, he's sick for real. Then he comes up with this 4-minute video that was all this jibber jab. And the text, Cammy, that he came out with after that was, I'm doing great, I think, and thank you all so much. I'll never forget it. Like he keeps saying that, I'll never forget it. And then he goes on to put in caps and exclamation point, love? Who is this? And I was like, I don't know. So it's like, it's what narcissists do, right? And sociopaths do. They play games. They play mind games and tricks. So, Tamisa, you said very irresponsible. Yes, very irresponsible. So, yes, you saying yes, it would be irresponsible. It's irresponsible that he hasn't communicated anything now. Like, dude, what are you doing? Okay, and Cam, you said, but I do think that he'll do anything to take advantage of the situation. So okay, so then maybe we have the meeting in the middle where he may have tested positive, but he may not have the symptoms that he's been allegedly, reportedly saying, but keeping, okay, because here's what we know. Trump is 47 or 74 years old. I had dyslexic moments at dinner because that's where we are. It's like the reverse. It's like Alice in Wonderland. Um, he's 74 years old. He's obese. He has pre-existing conditions. And has anybody found out what that is in his head? Have you guys been able to figure out? I need somebody. One of you investigative journalists that are here with me. Can y'all figure out what this is in his head? Because he has. We saw there were pictures from the debate last week. But he has something in his head. And they're saying that whatever the visit that he had at Walter Reed last year was when he got this device implemented. And it may have been that he either had a stroke, and that would answer for him not being able to walk down the ramp successfully, him not being able to hold the water and having tremors, and then having these foggy moments with his memory. And if that's true, and he does have some kind of neurological ailment, him projecting that onto Biden and shifting it off of himself would be classic Trump, right? And here's the thing, y'all. Okay, at the end of the day, how does this benefit him? If he's faking, then that is horrible because you are making a mockery of all of the people who are sick and the 207,000 plus people that died. How do you do that? If he's faking, if it's true and he has done such a shoddy job of making sure that the American people, the country overall, that our government is not vulnerable, because there are a whole bunch of different countries that are sitting back like, we'll wait, looking for you, just waiting for that, open that window, we're gonna just crack it, right? So if that's the case, either way, it's bad. Because you can't take this and then come back and say, I had coronavirus and look at me. I'm the epitome of health. Because I took this cocktail and this, what'd you say, VJ, some mess they put in together. I got this vaccine. And even though it's not hydrochloroquine, I did a splash of bleach and a little bit of pine sol and voila. I mean, like, that's still making a complete mockery of this virus, right? Y'all help me. I'm really struggling. Because you don't know what to believe. And here's the worst part of all. Here's the worst thing of all of it. The fact that we are in a position where we have to have a 30+ minute conversation about the validity of a president of the United States telling the truth about being sick. Do you know how awful that is? The fact that we're even taking time out to talk about it. So I'm going to shift gears because he's gotten plenty of time and that's what he wanted. Now, here's what we need to do, because if it's fake, here's why I think it would be fake. Because today, October 5th, 2020, is what? Is the last day for you to be registered to vote in a whole bunch of states, y'all. Do you know that? And if you are not in one of the states that I'm about to name, then I need for you to put this on your Facebook page. And I know you got a Facebook account, because why? Because you're here with me now, and I'm grateful. I need you to post this. I need you to share this. Or you can pull it from mine. And Cammie, what'd you say? He and all his cronies, they are dumb, but they're vicious and they're evil and dumb. Evil and dumb is bad. Evil and dumb is dangerous. We can't do evil and dumb. He is a diabolical person. To me, so he is diabolical. But then here's what we need to do to counter diabolical. Here's what we need to do. Because today, October 5th, 2020, is the last day, today is the deadline, to register to vote in the following states: Arkansas, Arizona, Florida, Georgia, Indiana, Kentucky, Mississippi, Ohio, South Carolina, Tennessee, and Texas. If you live or know someone who lives or has a friend or ever driven to or ever seen on the map any of the states that I named, then I need for you to post on your Facebook page. Today is the last day to register to vote. They can go to any website that they choose. I have had personal success helping people check their registration and get registered using vote.org. You can use whatever platform you want, though. I have had success using vote.org, helping other people check their registration status and get registered. Now, Angela, I'm going to read your message in just a second. I want to read these states again because today, October 5th, is the last day. You know how when people, you in trouble, they say, I told you to. Okay, so today is the last day to register and to check your status. The following states in the United States of America, the citizens of those states have today, and today, the last day, in Arkansas, Arizona, Florida, Georgia, Kentucky, Indiana, Mississippi, Ohio, South Carolina, Tennessee, and Texas. Please, the residents of those states, Tennesseans, please check your voters registration. I can tell you guys, if you knew you were with me, if you saw me go live on Saturday, I was at another voters registration event that was held at Jemison Medalist. It was a great event. It was a beautiful day. I want y'all to know, 6 people, within the first hour of me being there, I checked 6 people. 2 out of 6 people who were active voters who had voted in August had been purged. If you don't believe what I'm saying is true, then take that, because it's happened before. It happened in September 16th at the Spa and Shop event, and again last Saturday. 2 out of the 6 people that I checked had been purged. They voted in August. They were absolutely mind blown. I'm telling you, it's the worst violated feeling in the world for these folks. And I felt bad that I had to even ask them, because your voters registration status should never be in question. You should only need to check your voters registration if you've moved or married or somehow done something to your residential or name status. That is not true right now, y'all. You got to check your registration status. If you have not registered to vote, no shade, no shame. Today is the last day in the states that I listed before, the aforementioned states. Today is the last day. If you plan to have your vote and your voice count on November 3rd or before, today is the last day to register. Okay. Angela said, I feel he is undiagnosed for some disorder. maybe not communicated. I think he may be diagnosed. And then it's called sociopath. He's a sociopath. The wealthy get away with medical conditions because so many want to pay on payrolls. And he speaks in an uneducated, arrogant, bully tone. Always, Angela, I affirm and confirm. And listen, thank you for the book. I got it. Thank you so much. But y'all, this man can pull up anything and say anything. Last night I looked at the first lady. CNN has a special reporting. Oh, phenomenal! It's about the first ladies, but they started with Michelle Obama because they're smart, because they want viewers, and they know you start with the most popular, most well beloved first lady of my time. Michelle Obama is it. Period. Hands down. It was great. What it did for me is confirm how proud I am to be a Black woman, and how proud I am to be a woman in America, and how proud I am to know that I was part of the history of that. But it also angered me, y'all, because there were some things I had forgotten, and how low down and dirty people had been, including Trump and his foolishness with birther. Not gonna give him another minute of not gonna do another moment, not another minute of energy for that. What I am gonna give energy to, though, is this. It is important to me that, again, I told you I'm wearing pink for Breast Cancer Awareness Month. It is important to me that even in the midst of all that we are bombarded with all the information we get, with all the news, with all the foolery, with all the potential deceit that we receive, that we stay focused, right? Stay focused on what's important. And what's important is that you know you have a voice. And what's important is that you know you have a vote. And what's important is that you have loved ones who are being infected, who are being exposed. There's some frontline workers who don't have a choice. They've got to go to work. They've got to be able to maintain some livelihood. And so we know that while it may be fake or fact with Trump, we know that it's real and it's really killing people. And some 207,000 plus people have died. Not to mention the million that we're getting to for the entire globe. And so I just, oh, you got your card, Angela. I'm so glad. Thank you. Mwah. It is important to me that we stop and acknowledge that in the midst of all this stuff, that it is still October, and October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And oftentimes, like on Saturday, there was the I think it's the 6th annual Sister Strut, and they did a drive-through because of the pandemic, but it didn't stop them. And so I am encouraging you that if you will share today that is important for people to be registered to vote, then let's each of us, because most of us that are on right now are women, but this breast cancer does not discriminate, much in the same way the coronavirus doesn't, y'all. Breast cancer attacks breast, and men and women have breasts. So please, after today, let's make it a point to have some duality in our missions and causes, and to pursue early detection. We need to have people go and get mammograms. We need to go and get tested. I know that it is difficult to want to put yourself in an exposed position now, especially because it's like, I need to get a mammogram, but then I'm going to expose myself potentially to coronavirus. So what do I do? Let's continue to encourage people to do what is right and take care of themselves. If not getting a mammogram, then at least doing breast exams and learning how. I am going to share that. That is going to be part of what I do. I'm not going to self-exam myself, but I'm going to post how you do that on my page so that you can share that information, because it's important. I have had friends that have had battles with breast cancer. I have had a dear beloved friend of mine lost her battle to breast cancer, and years before that, my first cousin lost her battle to breast cancer. And so we want to make sure that we are acknowledging that, okay? And we can't lose sight of that, because if we get caught up in the vortex and tornado that is Trump, we'll miss out on so many things that are important, and so many opportunities to share and love. And you know, that's what the enemy comes to kill, steal, and destroy. So we're not going to have that. We're still going to lift each other up with love, lift each other up with light, and lift each other up with information and inspiration. That is part of the reason I'm here. And so I'm going to go, but I want you to know that on Wednesday, I'm going to have a special guest with me. So I'm looking forward to that, because y'all know I'm always open, and I absolutely want to support local businesses, and I absolutely want to support local Black-owned businesses. So if you know of a local Black business or a local business that is interested in having some information shared with you, my platform is available to them. And I want to have at least one business once per week. So let them know I'm here. And I posted that in one of the groups, y'all, and they said, well, how much is it? And I thought, oh, that's what we're so used to not supporting each other, that it's always got to be a price tag. There's no price tag. It's just you showing up and investing your time. The return on the investment for me is phenomenal, because I get a chance to be with you. So the James Comey movie, Tamisa, okay, I watched it. The 2 parts, I watched it. I saw it. And OM goodness, it does tell you a lot about him. The man operates like he is a mafia boss, does he not? Tamisa, oh my goodness, we're going to have to talk about that on Friday, because that'll give you guys a chance enough, because we got a debate coming up on Wednesday, okay? We got a lot going on this week, y'all. It's another action-packed week, so you got to make sure you pray. You got to pray. Did you hear me? You got to pray. Did you hear me say, yes, pray? I'm talking to you. Make sure you pray. We got to get prayed up so we can stay up, because I'm telling you, this battle is literally, we're on the downhill slope of this thing. We got to see this thing through. This is not the time to get weary or faint of heart. We got to re-energize ourselves, reignite our energy, and refuel our path, because we got to see this thing through. Because I'm prophesizing, manifesting, and claiming we will have Biden and Harris as our president and vice president elect come January. actually by the end of November, we will have, I'm gonna claim November 5th because we're not gonna have any foolishness. We'll give them 2 days to think they don't know, but we know we serve someone who is mighty, 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 and is the Alpha and Omega and has the final say. So listen, yes, that's your homework assignment. You got 3 things to do. Today, post, and I'm going to share it. So all you have to do is copy it and paste it on your page that today is the last day for people to be registered to vote. In the states that I listed, today is the last day. Check your registration. I don't care where you are in the land. Check your voters registration if you plan on voting. In the state of Tennessee, early voting is October 14th through the 29th. October 14th is a Wednesday. October 14th, I will early vote. October 14th, I will be live, whether it's at lunchtime, because I plan on getting out and voting early, but I'm going to connect with you guys to let you see up to the process. You can't take a phone in with you when you're voting now, because I don't know why, but that's it. We won't get into that. But I'm going to be actively engaged throughout. I have taken November 3rd off so that I can make sure that, and we need to talk about that on Friday too. So that's one. Homework assignment 1, post on October 5th. Homework assignment 2, check your voters registration status. Vote.org is a great, not the only, but a great resource to check your voters registration status and make sure if you're not registered, you get registered. And if you have been purged, fear not. Just go right back to that page and register again. Do it online so it's instantaneous. Don't mail in anything. We don't have time for that. Number 3, Tamisa is telling y'all, watch the dang on Comey rule. Woo! You get a chance to see firsthand and behind the scenes. And those actors did a great job, didn't they, Tamisa? At one point, didn't you think, like, this man really studied Trump? Because it was sickening to see him. You can watch the Comey rule. We're going to talk about that. And then, you know what? Like my page, share this, and invite other friends to join us for lunch because we always have a good time, right? Y'all give me just a second to say this. I have a guest on Wednesday. I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to post information about that. I'm going to share the states that have absolutely got to get their registration done today. And I'm going to also share the information about how to check and do a self-exam for your breast, because this is still breast cancer awareness month. All right. That's it. That's all. I love you, and there's nothing you can do about it because you matter to me. That's right. All of you, you matter to me. Thank you so much for taking time to be with me today. And remember, be every day amazing. And above all else, live like it's a gift because it truly is. I'll see you back here on Wednesday.